Picking which characters to main is one of the most important parts of starting a new fighting game, and with 2xKO finally out in closed beta until launch, we can help you decide who's worth investing your time into. There's going to be timestamps below for your convenience, so let's get it started. But just a sec, I was a League player heavy in the past, and for some reason saying champs and not characters feels so forced for this game. I don't know, let me know what y'all think, bruh. So let's start off with Ahri. So Ahri is a super fun character, and her entire kit feels built around speed and rushdown. She weaves in and out of neutral, trying to smack you with either her fantastic buttons or her fireball, which is a lot easier to do since she uniquely has an air dash backwards and forwards. What's cool about her fireball is you can use a follow-up if you're close enough and cancel it into special moves for bombos. Speaking of air movement though, she has a few ways to alter her momentum, and she can use downward fireball, for example, to stall in the air and also be plus on block. She can use Trickster's Flight to swipe towards the enemy, and if you're high enough, you can follow this up with one of the downward fireballs, and that's pretty useful in combos. One of her premier combo tools, Spirit Rush, you'll also be using a lot in neutral, because on whiff, you get actions out of it. So that's pretty cool. Spirit Rush in the air is also really cool because I can reset my air actions, and there I get like 2 air dashes, right? Again, for Spirit Rush, you can use it any direction but up in the air. So, you know, all the diagonals, all that. On the ground, she has Wild Flares, which is pretty nice for block strings. You know, you could do something cheeky like that, right? She also has Bounce, which is an overhead, and you can dash cancel out of that as well. So I can use up all, like, Ahri's Foxfires around her waist here to put out Stalking Dart, which after a second obviously targets the enemy like a little missile. But I can't use any Fireball abilities while this is happening. As a side note, Ahri also has fantastic assists, especially this back special one. A lot of the fun of Ahri comes from quick movement and technical combos, but don't worry if you can't do them. You can always just do something simple like this, right? And just shorten your combo. You don't have to do all the crazy extensions people are doing just to start off on the character. It's like, I do think Ahri is harder to make work than, say, a Darius, for example, right? But she's not impossible to figure out at all if you just give it time. She's fairly simple on paper, you know? You don't gotta go crazy with the tech and the movement just yet if you're intimidated. I probably won't mention it for other characters that are also perceived kind of like difficult, like let's say like Ekko or something. I just want to let you guys know to, hey, if someone's hard and you like them, still play them, you'll be okay. So, if you love rushdown, quick movement, some combo technicality, and Asians that look Latina, Ahri is definitely for you. Next up is Darius, and Darius, in my opinion, is the most straightforward and effective character in the game if you learn just a small amount about him. What I'm saying is if you want someone you can just quickly pick up and just start destroying people, Darius is your guy. But once people start figuring out your game plan, you still have some great mind games to play. Darius' whole thing is about controlling the mid-range with fantastic and long buttons and big-ass damage. He's pretty mobile too, but obviously no air dashes, right? I really want to emphasize, just check out how much damage this is going to do with just a couple simple hits into S2 into Super. Like, bro, it's just insane the return on investment for learning Darius. So the move we did there was his Axe Swing, which he has 2 follow-ups from. One being another Axe Swing that applies Bleed at the tip. Bleed, by the way, is Darius' passive that enhances chip damage. So you can see they're taking a good amount of chip there. The other follow-up is an Axe Wheel. Alternatively, you can also do a forward tackle and have the same follow-ups. Also in the air, he can do a spinning axe move as well. Now, Darius has a fireball that travels through the ground, kind of like Terry, and it goes really, really far, like nearly full screen. He also has this pull special that can be used as an anti-air, and you can, of course, combo off that. You can also use it in the air. But most importantly, he has his pull on the ground, which gives him what I like to call built-in baby mitts. I call it that because it's just so effective against like 99% of the players, especially right now when the game is new, because people aren't really parrying it. So check this out, he has 3 follow-ups after, one being a command grab, one being a slice that applies bleed, and one being a comboable overhead. Darius also has a really nice armored reversal, but of course the armor can be broken, but it's really good. As for assists, he has his pull, and his tackle, which can wall bounce on hit. So, if you like simple but very effective characters who let you get right into the mind games, control the mid-range, and do a huge-ass amount of damage, Darius is definitely the character for you. Or if you just like that chopped-ass haircut. Now we can talk about Jinx, and Jinx is the closest thing 2xKO has to a zoner, which of course is a very flexible description, given the fact that this is a tag game. She has, like, I would definitely say a bit of a weighted feel to her, which makes sense, given the fact that she has heavy artillery. I guess it's mostly in the backdash. But despite that, she makes up for it with pure options at a range and just doing whatever the hell she wants. So to start off, she has a machine gun, which it works like a machine gun, you know, and it can be canceled into her S2 special moves like the rocket, which we'll get to in a second. She can also use it in there. She also has this flying Homo sapien, which targets the enemy and explodes all over them. She can boost it forward by smacking it, and she can even supercharge it with her zappy gun. She can also continuously alter its movement up or down. Swerve! Swerve! She also has this chomper, which you can decide if you want to put it down next to you or throw it all the way out. You can also boost it forward by smacking it, and once it actually attaches to someone, it'll explode. Or if you just waited long enough. Now, on her rocket launcher, she can fire rockets in the air or on the ground, where she can hold them to do a little extra damage and go a little bit faster. A rocket launcher can also be used to hop in place. You can also do this in the air, or you can go forwards or backwards. Finally is Jinx's zappy gun, which it just charges periodically throughout the match, and once it's fully charged up, she can stun the opponent on hit, allowing you time to run up and combo them, and it'll use up the meter. As for assist, she has the rocket and the chomper. So, if you like forcing people to deal with guns and gadgets, doing serviceable damage through those alone, then cool combos once you do decide to get up in their face, Jinx is definitely for you. Next, let's talk about Braum, every League player's favorite gentle giant, and the character you've probably seen a Chinese meme for because of his shield. Braum's a lot of fun. I think he's fairly straightforward to pick up at first, but has some stuff that takes a while to make sense of. Braum's a big guy with big normals that are a bit slow, and of course you can definitely feel that a little bit movement-wise. But he has a way to make the slow normals a lot less big of a deal, and has plenty of tools regardless. So first we have to talk about Braum's passive Unbreakable, which can be procced off a few of his moves, and makes his shield all blue Gatorade colored, as you can see. This gives his shield normals 1 hit of armor, which is super nice and gives him access to new special moves. Braum will lose Unbreakable if he spends it on one of those new moves, or if he gets thrown or knocked down. For his special moves, let's cover the shield charge. It goes through projectiles and gets a hit of armor when you're in Unbreakable. It can also be charged to go even further, wall bouncing if he has Unbreakable. So the shield charge has a follow-up that's super nice because on hit it gives him a charge of Unbreakable. This follow-up becomes a 2C slide all the way to the corner when he has a charge of Unbreakable. Classically, Braum also has his big boy shield that moves him forward automatically and has unlimited armor but can be thrown. Braum also has this shield slam that gives him Unbreakable on hit or block, becoming a fireball he can combo off of when he has an Unbreakable charge. Also, he can press S2 in the air for a big fat shield swing. Next up, Braum has this little Poro Ball that he can make go super far if he holds it down. It only really has a hitbox in the air though, and when it lands, it just like looks cute. He also has a command grab that gives him Unbreakable, and what's cool about it is you can combo off of it if he has Unbreakable. Braum also has this shield smack that staggers the opponent, and you know, if you're in the corner, you can just get an extra hit. With an Unbreakable charge, this move has a fireball that is plus on block, freezes the opponent on hit, and lets you combo. Lastly, Braum has a shield crash in the air. For assists, he has the shield and the shield tackle. So, if you like beefy meatheads that love drinking, are genuinely kind to all forms of life, and cool-ass shield attacks, Braum is definitely for you. Or if you like his Pringle stash. Next up is Blitzcrank. So, Blitz is this game's version of a grappler, meaning he's got the command grab, you know? And trust me, Blitz breaks a lot of the normal conventions of the archetype. Blitz is pretty beefy and has normals that are on the slower side for sure, but he moves quick as hell if we compare him to other games' grapplers. He has many ways to close the gap as well, which is very valuable. Let's first cover Blitz's passive, which is Steam. By holding S1, he can charge up Steam periodically. He can cancel this into a backdash, and if he doesn't fully charge it, you can see the Steam will go down over time. Steam can also be charged through other special moves, and basically buffs up certain specials. To start, Blitz's command grab can be used in place or be held for him to run at the opponent before grabbing them. The grab honestly has like pretty great range. Also, I just gotta mention this real quick, he does have a level 3 command grab. Back to the regular command grab though, you will charge a lot of Steam on hit. I mean, look at that. If his Steam is fully charged, the command grab will actually gain a hit of armor. Next up is Blitz's infamous Q button ability from League, and it's actually in the game and very, very strong. I think we were all wondering how they would pull this one off, not gonna lie. So, you can probably tell, he sends out his arm and pulls people in on block where he is plus in your face. And of course, you can imagine pulling someone in, and then you go for the command grab. On hit, you can follow up for more damage, and if you have fully charged steam, you'll stun the opponent on hit. Blitz's grab can be used in the air and as an anti-air as well. For other specials, Blitz has a punch that can break projectiles and be comboed into his pool. You can also just cancel into it. Next is Spinning Turbine, which hits on both sides and charges up a bit of steam. And if you cancel it really quickly, you can gain some distance on his command grab. Next is that stupid-ass Wii Wrecking Ball move, which Blitz can hold and swing up to 3 times, and on a hit or block, it'll charge up some steam. And of course, letting go means coming down with a strike. So, if you simply love the archetype with those command grabs, a grapple with fantastic tools to close the gap, or robo bellies, Blitz is definitely for you. Or if you like giving unbelievable clanker shots. Now let's talk about Ekko. So, for Ekko, he's all about rewinding time, so you're gonna see his kit is really a banger in the way it represents that. Ekko is your mix-up character, right? So if he rewinds time to his after images, and you end up guessing where he is and what he's gonna do. He also has a forward air dash. So Ekko firstly has this fireball that, in my opinion, is the most strong when you use the air version, because it very quickly gets into this form where if it actually hits them, it'll stun them so you can combo. You can also throw it up like this and hit it with your heavy moves. He also has this triple hitting combo special. Now for the sauce. So first up for the S2 moves is Phase Dive, where Ekko can roll through the opponent and it spawns an after image. You can hold this for a volatile after image, which basically just gives a different set of follow-ups, which we'll get to in a second. Chrono Strike is a similar move that strikes the opponent and spawns an after image, and of course you can also hold it for a volatile after image, which this time Ekko will roll through the opponent. From, like, honestly, very far. You just have to actually smack them. You can also do this move in the air, spawning an after image, and if you hold down the move, you are plus on block. Now, finally for the after image follow-ups, so there's gonna be 4. Fantastic 4. There's gonna be 2 for regular after image and 2 for volatile after image. Replay simply rewinds you and does a strike. Time's Up rewinds and does a safe kick that will also launch on hit. As for the volatile after image follow-ups, Chrono Switch does nothing when it rewinds you, which is really cool. You can just kind of act out of it, do whatever you want. And Chrono Break rewinds you, letting you explode all over the opponent, and you'll get a wall bounce from it. For a final tip, you'll probably get into a situation where you're going to want to use one of these moves again, right? And you'll be like, holy shit, I can't, I'm just teleporting back to it. All you gotta do is just hold forward when you actually input it, and you'll see I'm just getting the original move and spawning another after image. Same thing with the roll, you just hold down forward instead. So, as for assists, Ekko has a regular strike and his fireball. So, if you like time manipulation, super fun mix-up options, and making sure the opponent has no idea what the hell is happening on their screen, Ekko is definitely for you. Or if you like exploding all over people. Next up is Mo Yasuo, the banned one. My fault, I meant Yasuo the Unforgiven. So, Yasuo is this sword-wielding, mid-screen stance character who has some really flashy stuff and ways to manipulate wind and interact with his swordplay. First up is Galeblade. It's simply an air special that slices through the opponent and has a couple follow-ups that also slice again, allowing you to combo. If you hold Galeblade, it'll go downwards diagonally, but you will not be able to use any follow-ups. Next is Yasuo's Wind Wall, which of course blocks projectiles, but if you use a couple of his other special moves, they'll have some cool changes by interacting with it. Let's take, for example, Steel Tempest, just a regular old sword cut, right? If you use this on Wind Wall, it becomes a full screen cut instead. Then there's Yasuo's Fireball, and it can be held to make it spawn further out, and you can also use it in the air. If you use the Fireball on the Wind Wall, it'll actually create a tornado that moves towards the opponent. Now, getting away from Wind Wall interactables, let's look at Sweeping Blade, which has definitely caught any new player off guard. It's this dash strike that has 3 follow-ups, and if you hold it, you get a cross-up, meaning it hits on the other side, and you can't do follow-ups out of that. The first follow-up is basically just extra hits, while the second knocks them into the air, where you can follow up with special moves. Finally is Yasuo's stance, Calm. You have tons of follow-ups from this. The first is Stomp, which leaves you plus on block, and I've also seen it used in combos. Lashing Wind does an upward slice, Sever Wind does a long-range slice, and Sever Cloud does a big upward slice that wall bounces. Zephyr Step passes through the opponent, and updraft does a jump that you can act from. You can also dash in either direction, with the forward dashing being particularly long. What's cool is you can move along with the follow-ups for added momentum. As you can see, that was not going to hit. But when you add momentum, it does. Another really cool thing about Yasuo is you can uniquely combo his level 1 super into level 3. As long as you have 3 bars. As for assists, Yasuo has his strike and his wind wall. So, if you like mid-range characters with sword normals and a stance, or just edgy samurais that play good flute, Yasuo is definitely for you. Second to last, we've got Vi, and Vi is the classic punching brawler, but this time with a lot of unique twists. She's pretty rushdown heavy and has some really fun and satisfying movement in her stance. First, we'll talk about her S2 special moves, and then about her S1 special moves, and it'll make sense why in a second. So first is Denting Blows, which just unleashes a bunch of punches, and you want to mash this one to get out all the hits, and at the end, you get a wall bounce. Next is Crater Maker, which is basically just what it looks like. It's this big energy smash attack with decent range. In the air, it alters her momentum, which is pretty cool. Now for her S1 attacks, first is Vault Breaker, which is this dash punch that can be charged to make her plus on block and go very far. In the air, it has this hit grab effect, and it can still be charged for more damage. Her next S1 special is Blast Shield, which is a counter to physical hits, and if the counter connects, she pops this energy field and punches through, stunning enemies that are in that field range. Finally is her stance, which is this quick step that gives her a bunch of follow-ups. It can also go through projectiles. So the light, medium, and heavy follow-ups can all be held to enhance themselves. And if you do hold the light and medium versions, you're able to cancel again into any S1 special moves. So let's take the medium version for example. I can cancel into any S1 special move, meaning I can cancel into the step again, which leads to like cool shit like this. And that's like basically baby Tekken Electrics, right? That's pretty cool. They have some pretty fun timing to them in actual combos. So the light follow-up is Hook. The medium follow-up is Upper. And as you can see, the held version launches them up further. And then heavy is Knuckle Down, which when held, it does a big launch that you can combo off of. Then you have a command grab, which can be teched regularly, by the way. If they're just teching a regular grab, they would also be teching this grab. And an extra step backwards, or slide forward, that can pass through the opponent. And yes, you can act out of that slide backwards, but not out of that slide forwards. As for Vi's assist, she has the Dash Punch and Energy Blast. So, if you like rushdown, brawler, punching style characters with super fun swaggy movement, or literally just like to hit people with your fists, Vi is definitely for you. Hami J no Bipo from Roblox. So, Illaoi is all about spawning tentacles and interacting with them in cool ways. Whoa! First, let's talk about her S2 moves, which spawn the tentacles. Guiding Hand is a regular forward-moving hit that summons a tentacle on hits or block. And unless she's using a super, she can only spawn 2 tentacles at a time. Harsh Lesson is an overhead version that also summons a tentacle on hit or block. And the charge version goes further. For a low option that spawns tentacles as well, Illaoi has From the Depths, which can be charged for long-range tracking. In the air, Illaoi can also do this ground pound that spawns a tentacle. Now for her S1 specials, which interact with the tentacles. So you've got Tentacle Smash, which on hit or block makes the nearest tentacle follow up, making her plus. Riptide destroys projectiles and follows up with the nearest tentacle. The second hit also has projectile crushing properties, and you can just cancel all that into Tentacle Smash. Next is Tidal Swing, which is an anti-air swing, and a tentacle can also interact off it, giving her combo ability. In the air, she can also do this like smack attack, and a tentacle can combo into it. There we go. Finally, we have Prayer of Motion, which makes the tentacle that is currently out smack the opponent if you tap it. If you hold it, though, it'll drag the opponent towards the tentacle. As for Prayer in Stagnation, if the tentacle is out, it'll do a grab attack, but it can only do that if they're right on top of it. It does not have tracking, so let's say I try to do it here. You can see it doesn't work. As for assist, Illaoi has her forward S2 strike, and she has Tentacle Smash, which will also still interact with tentacles. So yeah, that is every character in the game right now. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope to be able to understand more about all these characters so you can more or less know who fits who you want to play, the way you want to play in 2XKO. If you're genuinely, like, actually still confused, my best suggestion would be go watch high-level gameplay of characters that you're interested in. because by knowing what they do by watching this video and then actually watching them in action by really, really high-level players, you'll be even more informed on your decision. But yeah, that's all for me, and if you love 2xKO content, please do subscribe, as that would help a lot for me, and I'm going to be here a long, long time, so I hope you guys enjoy playing some 2xKO with me, and peace. Also, add Ribbon.